Time to play the second match of the day. FaZe Clan taking on the Knights from Pittsburgh. A top 4 finish hangs in the balance here. Let's get down to the field. Stacks and Dazzrin back on the call.
It's very simple, Daz. The winner of this series is tied for 4th place with an idle Dignitas at 17 points in the winter, 1 ahead of M80, who gets to play later on today. The race for the winter major continues to heat up with one of the streakiest teams in the whole tournament in the Knights, taking on FaZe Clan.
Can the Knights do what seems to be a challenge here and stop this FaZe Clan from the very cursed 4th place that they have been in for time and time again is the question. Right now, Cynical's computer's stopping him right now. It's game froze, so we're waiting for him to get back into the game. So
that might be the only thing that has stopped Cynical in this whole tournament, by the way. This weekend, he has come alive. He is leading the tournament in assists per game. He's coming in with 13 total. First killer has scored 14 times yesterday. Of course, he didn't have the benefit of an extra match like some of these other teams had, as FaZe Clan topped their group going 3-0, only dropping a single game to NRG along the way. And on the other side, you've got this Knight squad, Daz, that, you know, they had the lead against version 1 in their first match. Then they dropped 6 straight games. They get reverse swept in the first match. They get swept by G2. Who doesn't these days, other than SSG? And then they go and win 6 games in a row, including a 3-0 sweep over Dignitas, who had their top 4 finish last week. North America's wide open.
yeah, this is a great showing of NA depth.
And Reddit is ready to pound.
You know, the copium is away now. We get back into the game. But yeah, this is definitely something that has been kind of shocking, I think, for a lot of people, because when you think of NA Rocket League, there are teams that come into mind. These days, what would normally be your 5 teams has been open. And there's even players from what I would say the bubble starting to break out as well. So there's so much shaking up, and there's only 5 spots for San Diego. So it just seems like it's going to be a constant battle, and we're in the middle of one right now. Both of these teams are, as PK, this is a great performance from them this tournament. They want to expand on it. For FaZe Clan, they started this split off poorly. So now they're trying to get back into the form that we all know that they can be in. And it just makes things so much more tense in what is the middle of the split. As Zanil finds the split of the defense, Knights will pick up their first goal.
And Zanil is one of the guys that was actually kind of, in high demand coming into the start of this season, right? I mean, there were talks that he could end up with Dignitas, and then he went, I think he ended up with Dark Zero, now he's with Knights. I mean, he's been kind of all over the place, and a lot of people are very high on Zanil's potential here in North America, and he's kind of started to make a name for himself. He's off to a great start here with his 5th goal of the event. And typical there to stop Zanil's clearance efforts. He'll have to rotate back, trying to get through Cheese. That goes off to the corner, and here is first killer. With Zanil up to meet him, Cheese waiting on the backboard, just everybody ready to pounce when first killer's on the ball. And that's just the kind of respect that he commands anytime he's on the pitch.
You know, this one for Zanil as well, you talk about him. A win here would probably be, I think, so big for just his journey as a player. You know, you go from him arguing with Roll Diz on in-game and on the timeline, and now him playing Roll Diz's team. So there's a lot of story talk, at least in that particular aspect. But yeah, as a player as well, you know, this Knights team, everybody on this team, you know, we've seen them play against FaZe, every single one of them. But to play here and now for a chance to be top 4 in the North American Winter Cup, I mean, it's a big deal.
Sosa off a handoff from Cheese. He's got it up there. Now Zanil coming in, beaten by Mist. whose defense has been a huge improvement for FaZe Clan. And first killer there to swat that ball away from Zanils and denying him a second goal. And now Sosa for Cheese. First killer's all over it. Missed way at the back, waiting to come up. He will on the same side. Nobody there for that pass from first killer.
Zanil, good carry. And I like what I'm seeing from Knights. It's not, they're not showing signs of fear here. I think they understand, they know their potential, they know what they can do as players, and they're going to force the issue here for FaZe Clan. It's not going to be a free game. They are going to have to earn it. First killer with a flip reset, though. That's just automatic.
Everybody just kind of stops and stares, except for one who was taken off the field. Prior to that effort, Sosa had to kind of keep his head on a swivel with contact coming in from behind as well. We're all knotted up now with 96 seconds remaining in regulation and maybe more overtime looming. Here in the early stages of day 2, Cheese's shot is blocked by Mist right at the goal line. We're off and running again here in game 1.
It's crazy. When you watch FaZe Clan, it's almost like each individual player, there's like a box to check. Like, Typical's great everywhere on the field. Very solid. You even said it yourself. Super solid. He's been stepping up for FaZe. Missed on that back end. You're expecting him to make some tough saves, but also put on some good shots. And first killer, you just expect him to be first killer at the end of the day. Like, flip reset to the top corner, that's first killer. Getting a beat on 2 to the other corner, that's first killer. He's got 2 goals this game, and FaZe have the lead.
And that's the pressure that's always on first killer, right? When he's not clearly the best player on the field, when you get to the end of a series, everybody starts to look around and wonder, what's wrong with this guy? Haven't had to say that much here in the Winter Cup. He's got both goals now for FaZe. Both basically unassisted. Typical got the assist for that one. And that adds to his tally. Missed, running free. He'll add a goal of his own. And FaZe Clan are starting to run away here in the final minute.
Yeah, look at this. Again, beating out 2 here. The double commit's not been kind tonight. And FaZe Clan have the awareness to know when they have you beat. And it's great for Mist to be able to have that awareness. We expect that from him. 3 saves and 100% shooting.
Well, Sosa will try and bring it back for the Knights. Zanil's got a range way back now with 30 seconds remaining here in the opener. Don't let anything fool you. I mean, game 1 was kind of a snooze fest between G2 and SSG, and then you saw how that turned out. As first killer got another one to go towards Zanil. He made the save, then paid the price for it. He spawned back in, and he won't have Sosa in front of him. Typical's made sure of that. But the Knights are running low on time here, and that last stop by FaZe Clan will deplete their resources entirely. This will touch ground, and FaZe Clan takes care of business in game 1.
Takes care of business is a great way to describe that, because that is what it felt. It felt routine. Obviously, the opener Knights definitely kind of tried to set the tone, but the game got away from them. FaZe Clan on transition, you saw what happens when you get first killer that space, you let him roam free. Got 2 back-to-back goals there, but also it's really solid for Mist and Typical to be able to relieve some of that pressure while also keeping the ball in play from FaZe Clan. A lot of chances, you know, especially in that second goal, come from Mist getting a demo, setting things up front, and he sees first killer come in for the shot, doesn't even move because he knows exactly where it's going. You know, things like that are how you really can see, okay, yeah, FaZe Clan, they're operating today.
So it's first killer that leads the way in game 1 for FaZe Clan. He's still there. Somebody is not. That's fine. As we get ready for game 2 on Forbidden Temple. Again, so good to have Forbidden Temple back in the rotation. Here we go. Knights trying to mount a comeback against the almighty FaZe Clan, whose reputation certainly precedes them. But they haven't lived up to it so far in the winter. We're seeing signs of it now in the Cup. His first killer right on the doorstep. Typical there as well. But Zanil and the Knights have at least held the gate so far, and Cheese will pop it away.
Okay, what kind of adjustments are we going to see from Knights here in game 2? Well, they're trying to make adjustments. Meanwhile, Typical just blazing through the back line. And almost a good first goal. That shot just a little bit off the mark here, but FaZe still keeping up the pressure. They've got to be able to, I mean, step one is slowing these guys down. Look at this, typical running amok there on that offensive front and making it really hard for Knights to even get comfortable, let alone thinking about a transition.
Missed and typical there defensively for FaZe, but an opportunity for the Knights to maybe pour some pressure on, but they've backed off. And it's going to be First Killer diving in, just ahead of Sosa. And First Killer, little pogo action, but Zanil still got the save.
Sosa, good speed, but straight to the back wall. First Killer wastes no time, and also got that follow touch. Again, keeping the ball away from Knights. Things kind of settle here in the midfield. Infield pass, Cheese, good shot, and miss. It gets a great save out. And look at that, straight on the transition is FaZe playing.
You know, in seasons past, maybe that shot gets through, but it's been a big emphasis on defense and turning it into offense, and that's exactly what FaZe Clan has done. Missed with the save inside the net, then they get it quickly downfield. Typical, the First Killer, and that's been a recipe for success all weekend.
3:25 left here, and like you said, the recipe of success. Liking what I'm seeing though here from FaZe Clan, just not afraid to get into the upper third. Look at this, oh my goodness, great pass from Miss, right on the hood of First Killer. Unfortunately, so was an Octane of the Knights, and not gonna be a goal. Knights have definitely slowed down, and they almost got caught out there. Cheese was bringing on the back wall, but it's only short-lived. Typical's getting demo after demo. First Killer with the challenge, Miss, clean it up, and he does. What a press play forward here for FaZe Clan.
First Killer gets the benefit of an assist there by creating the rebound. That Mist cleans up. His second goal of the series for Mist. Well into double digits now. He's got 11 in the tournament. And Typical now looking to add his name to the tally. But this one's denied. Missed now for First Killer. Couldn't get a second touch. Now here come the Knights. Sosa with Cheese to the side. Just couldn't quite get a quality pass there to him. This feels like the pace isn't there for the Knights, Daz. FaZe seem to be, I almost called them First Clan. FaZe Clan seem to be just outpacing the Knights at every turn on either half of the field. The Knights haven't really gotten very comfortable on either half, and you're seeing that in the shot totals and certainly in the scoring totals, where the Knights only have the one goal here through a game and a half.
Yeah, you know, it looks like for me, for Knights, that they're having a hard time just getting a good read on where the ball's going to be. And that's really just credit to how FaZe Clan are able to move the ball around very quickly and have reads on there. Look at that. Sosa tried to take out First Killer. Sosa jumped up, and First Killer remained patient in net. Great save from First Killer to keep Knights at 0.
Man, First Killer actually won a game of chicken sitting on the goal line as Zanil bring this all the way back to his own corner. And now First Killer diving in. Zanil took him out. That will slow down FaZe. To what degree? Myth was right there. Now Sosa, pocket pick by Typical, who again, he's just been everywhere for FaZe Clan. He's got it done defensively. He's certainly got it done on the offensive end as well. And for a player in Typical who spent so long with the Red/Space Station Gaming group, great to see him having success now with FaZe. It's been rocky at times, right, Daz? I mean, you know, he hasn't always fit in with this squad, but he's having an excellent Winter Cup. And he had an excellent major, for that matter.
Exactly, he has. And seeing Typical do so well and find his places, he is going to find the back of the net here as well. Everybody from FaZe Clan is scoring this game, and you just love to see it. This is that cohesion, that teamwork that I think is what keeps them at the top. And I think if they could continue to kind of build on that, and when they get to the teams like the G2s, the Gen Gs, that team play is going to be the difference maker here. I'm saying that because they're up by 3 right now, up by 4. And this game, I'm saying it. This FaZe Clan. Game 2 is FaZe Clan.
I'm calling a timeout for the Knights right now. And I don't know if it's going to do much, but yikes.
Yeah,
FaZe Clan running away with this series now. They have poured it on here at the end of game 2. About to get halfway to a semifinal berth. They would get G2 in that semifinal after their epic series a moment ago. Zanil trying to get any offense going at all. He's been the lone offense for the Knights. Had the opening goal in game 1. And ever since then, it's been all FaZe Clan, and it has not just been first killer. Sosa here, saved by first killer. Cheese stuffed by Miss. This goes way downfield. FaZe Clan might get another. No, the ball touches down. A little bit of mercy shown by FaZe Clan, and indeed, well before that game ended, confirmed Knights are calling a timeout.
You got to be able to reset here. Things are getting out of hand. I mean, first killer had 6 shots last game. He has 7 this game. It's typical now, bringing up that shot total. And it just felt like Knights couldn't find an answer to FaZe Clan at all that game. We expected an adjustment, but instead, things just felt like they got worse. So taking a timeout here, completely understandable. You see Lando on the screen. It's going to be up to him to be able to talk to the team and figure out, okay, how can we get back into at least a little bit of form here to really show up? Because it felt like Knights were so flat that game, they might as well not even been there.
Well, this timeout, an opportunity for the Knights to reset mentally, and we go to DFH Stadium at the other end of this timeout with FaZe Clan up 2-0 in the series, marching towards another date with G2. This almost feels like a speed bump along the way, and it's on Knights and it's on Lando to find a way to turn this around, get Zanil the ball in more favorable favorable positions on the field, and maybe for Sosa to rekindle some of that magic that allowed him to beat FaZe Clan, which feels like forever ago. You have to go way back to the fall of last season when the Knights were able to last take down FaZe. It's been 4 straight for FaZe Clan against PK, in large part because of that guy, First Killer, who has just been a thorn in their side. He's been a thorn in the side of a lot of these teams. Let's be honest. That is the look of a man who is supremely confident in what's going on right now.
Looking at the Knights run, they lost to V1. In 5, V1 had the reverse sweep on them. They got swept by G2. They ended up beating Ghost to make it out of groups. And then they took down the Dignitas team, who we thought could have been, on that back-to-back consistent run. Knights said no to Dignitas and finished the job there, all in 1-goal games and a sweep. But going into this matchup, a lot of people are predicting FaZe Clan to make this a quick series. It's up to Knights to be able to prove otherwise, and we'll have to see it here on the field.
Well, if you want to look for something for the Knights to maybe hang on to historically, their win percentage in games 3 and 4 is not it. Only 37%, and they're under fire immediately.
I thought you were going to give me some good news.
Clan early, and First Killer will bring this out around the boards, and typical, not under any duress at all. Zanil took that away from Cheese, and it just continues to get worse for the Knights.
Oh, this was not, it was really awkward there for Sosa, but Sosa was able to kind of clean things up. And now Knights can move upfield. Zanil straight down, looking for Sosa. Sosa gets the dunk, but it's still not enough. Typical will clear it away. Miss will get credited with the save.
That had to be painful for all the Knights players watching that play develop, because that ball rolls up the wall. There's nobody from FaZe in the same zip code as the net, but by the time the ball can actually get into a scoring position, everybody's there. Mist makes the save. Here comes FaZe again. First Killer, hard out of the corner. That's not going to find Mist, but it will hit Typical. Cheese is right there, and he can bring this back into the FaZe end, and a chance now for Knights to get some pressure that they have sorely lacked so far in this series.
Zanil trying to wrap that around First Killer. A little bit more of a spread out effort here for the Knights, not necessarily piling up on top of each other. We saw a little bit of double commits earlier, but this time things are again, a little bit more simpler for them in terms of rotation. It doesn't necessarily mean that they've got things figured out here, but they are looking a lot better in the opening half. This Cheese will sail that all the way downfield, and we can see what Knights do on offense.
While on paper you wouldn't consider these teams as equals, in the standings they are. 13 points apiece, with the winner getting into major contention. Getting 4 very valuable points. The difference between top 8 and top 4. First killer with Typical playing decoy. This goes back downfield. Mist will collect, and he'll hit Typical over on the wing. They would tie Dignitas, who, again, Knights beat. So if FaZe are victorious here, they can at least thank Knights for keeping Dignitas at bay. As Cheese sends one downfield, they have to chase it himself. He's got Zanil in support. But Typical will take charge. Mist with the demo behind the play. It's only Zanil at the back being chased by Mist. Typical can't get around Zanil as they did not take him off the field. He does still keep possession, and Sosa's got that out as far as first killer. Past him now, but Mist has it.
Good pick up there from Mist. Zanil looking to try to see if he can meet him. But this sidewall has been kind of the course of the action so far for like the last minute or so. No one has necessarily been able to get out. We haven't seen more than about 2 shots from either side here. As again, wrestling for control. And like I said, this is a very good look though if you're Knights. Coming from dropping 4 goals to so far keeping this game scoreless, keeping yourself in the game, and potentially the series here. They could turn things around. Sosa's up quickly. That's straight down. Zanil's shot is on and forces Typical to make a save. Great offensive pressure from Knights, but FaZe Clan still holding on for the time being.
That was a good poke there by Cheese to at least keep the ball available and in the zone. And they've limited FaZe's opportunities. First killer's got his looks. There's Cheese for Sosa and Mist yet again with another big save.
Man, they are blocking everything on that FaZe Clan side, and they turn it around the other way. First killer gets this goal, and I gotta look back and see how he got this around. He used Zanil's car to pinch it in off the pass from Typical. Knights put a hand up, but it just wasn't enough.
First killer scores goals. It's just one of the constants of the universe. He's always going to get his. And this time he has in a big, big way in the final minute now with FaZe Clan leading 1-0 in game 2, or game 3 rather. Having scored, I believe, 7, now 8 unanswered goals. Scoring 3 in a row after the opening goal by Zanil. First killer through Zanil. Cheese is there. So too is Mist. He's got first killer way downfield, 34 seconds remaining. Sosa got to outlet this to somebody. Zanil can't get to it. Typical's up by a mile. And now with only 25 seconds remaining, FaZe Clan will just send another downfield and challenge the Knights to do anything with it, which they can't. It's first killer off the ceiling again, and Cheese can only delay the inevitable.
Typical gonna try to carry this for a while. Good read from Zanil. Gotta get this through. No chance there for a follow-up. They're still trying to keep this ball alive, but first killer was trying to end the game right there. Sosa with the carry, it'll pinch out. Cheese has to get there. Does get there. There's a clear field. This is still doable for Knights. Almost a chance down. Can Cheese get to the ball? No! It'll fall. And a FaZe Clan with the series on match point. You can see the frustration coming out from Knights after first killer ended up scoring that initial goal. They were playing so well up to that point. And now, especially even after calling the timeout, it's looking grim.
It is looking grim. I mean, on paper, coming into this series, you've got the best offense and the best defense. And they both happen to be the same team. FaZe Clan averaging just under 3 goals a game. At least they've been held at bay here in game 3. But the other constant, and he might smile, I promise, he might smile if they get into the semifinals. They've allowed 1 goal per game all weekend. FaZe Clan is just different right now.
I mean, when you think about last event, and that loss that they took round 1 to M80, I think it kind of lit a fire under FaZe Clan.
Yeah.
You can see the approach so different. How they've been playing has changed. They want to represent North America here, but they also want that victory for themselves. Miss will find the back of the net. FaZe Clan in the opening seconds looking dominant here. Oh my goodness. That flip reset for first killer and Miss is being in the right position there. Is so efficient.
FaZe Clan have come for a business meeting, and they're walking away with a lot of dubs right now. Missed. All day to play this. Daniil waiting way back. Typical. Lob it ahead. I mean, really, FaZe Clan is just taking what the defense is giving them, and unfortunately for the Knights, the defense is giving FaZe Clan a whole lot. More than a lot of teams do. First killer to missed again. Daniil at least slowed it down. Sosa can outlet. Gonna take this himself. Got it started over to Daniil. Out of the corner, second touch.
Oh!
Got to Sosa, and it pinballs in. The streak is over.
There you go. They finally forced the issue. Great pass out. The follow-up from Daniil is so solid, and Sosa does not hesitate. That's the level that they got to play at to get goals. Then they say, so be it. Tied up here in game 4.
Let's just throw it out there. There are 2 teams that have been reverse swept at a best of 7 in North America. FaZe is one of them. Granted, it was NRG. That was an NRG where Garrett G was sick as a dog, and it still worked out. G's shot on, saved away by first killer. Now typical, lob one out, and Daniil couldn't get to it, so Sosa's called into action. And that pops away for Sosa. Now Cheese to chase it down. And brought central, but nobody home for the Knights. Playing very conservative, very cautious, and maybe just intimidated by FaZe Clan.
Yeah, you can kind of tell there's a bit of a breakaway, and first killer snatches it. Give me that. Gets the lead here, and Daniil tries to play it off to the side. Cheese just can't get there in time. You see Sosa, he's doing his best to really, I mean, if this was basketball, first killer would have been foul. Or, yeah, that being said, first killer able to push that in. And I am impressed with the ability that these players have to be able to get to the ball so quickly.
Typical came into this series averaging almost an assist and a quarter per game. And he continues to add to his impressive tally. He picked up his 4th assist there. So he's going 1 per game so far. First killer through the air again, got the dunk. Typical trying to score. No, it's back to Miss. Add another assist for Typical as it's 3-1.
Oh man, they're starting to get on a run here. Typical touch out, missed up quickly. It's going top right. He's got so much space to work with, and he's so fast. That FaZe offense starting to show, and the rest of the bracket is watching intently.
First killer playing around Cheese, but not around Sosa. Still a lot of time to work with here for the Knights. They've got a couple goals in this series, but now they need a couple more. That's been a real sticking point for the Knights. They just haven't been able to generate enough pressure to score in bunches. Certainly not against a team playing defense the way FaZe is, and we haven't said that in past seasons and certainly past splits. This goes to the corner. It's Daniil and missed with the save on the low roller. Now we've reached the halfway mark of game 4. FaZe on match point. And now time to pour on more pressure perhaps.
Jeez, carry out. Not that much time here. If Knights want to start, working their way back into this game, first things first, you got to stop these shots from coming in. Another good shot there from Typical. Sosa will get credit with the save there. Cheese will clear it, and finally does push it upfield. And Sosa up so quickly once again to get there, but just off the mark. And it'll go the other way, played out. First killer lining up the double, and he's gonna, I thought he had it. Cheese, a great save. Yeah, you expected that one to go in, but Knight's able to get the stop.
It just about had him dead to rights, but an acrobatic save at least keeps Knights with a sliver of hope here with time winding down in game 4. Approaching the final minute. Oh, nobody got that midfield boost. Zanil takes it, but First Killer's got ball. Now Sosa, he's been hyper-aggressive now over the last couple of minutes, and it's worked out, but that's what it has taken for Knights to get any kind of offense going. Zanil intercepted by Typical, and yet another stop by FaZe. Now they're pressing forward, though. Sosa turning around. He realized Mist had him beat. Cheese back towards Mist. Zanil let it go. Can he get back to it? No. And a misplay from the Knights cost them another opportunity, which are going to be few and far between here in the final 50.
Yeah, FaZe Clan can just play, the 50-50 game, run out the clock here for the remainder of this competition. A little bit
they can't even get a rule 1.
Yeah, get off Mist. Mist is like, hey.
Mist is all business. Everybody on this FaZe Clan side is just business. There have been very few smiles. I think I saw Typical crack a smile very briefly during the timeout.
I saw Mist go all the way around the field searching for some demos. Now he's sitting there in midfield, puts a shot on, Sosa will get the save out. But I will say thank you to FaZe Clan. They have respected our time today. We had that game 7. They said, okay, let's get us back on schedule here. Routine work for FaZe Clan. They take this in a sweep.